everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a necklace and a pair of earrings today, and I'm going to use some of the contents of the most recent bargain bead box for August 2023 called Woodland Whimsy. In case you're not familiar, Bargain Bead Box is a monthly subscription of beads and findings. It's $22.99 a month, and that includes shipping in the United States. They have beautiful beads and findings. It's always curated around a different theme each month. And if you're a subscriber to the Bargain Bead Box, you get a 30% off coupon to use in their sister store, Bead Box Bargains. And you can use it as many times as you want to during the month. And they already have great prices. I have a coupon code. It's Teresa2. And I'll put it on the screen here and in the description box below, along with a link to the page to sign up for the subscription if you're interested. The coupon code will save you $2 off your first box if you sign up. I really do believe this to be a good value box. I'm always able to make a lot of pieces of jewelry out of one box. And I'm not going to need nearly this many beads. I've just got them all out here. I'm not going to need nearly this many. And here I've got the 8mm Unakite round beads that came in the box. And here I've got the 6mm Autumn Jasper round beads that came in the box. And here I've got the 8mm crystal faceted coin beads. Olive Shimmer is the color that came in the box. And here I've got the 6x4mm crystal faceted rondelle beads. Opaque Peach Shimmer are the color on those. And here I've got one of the 26x18mm Unakite and brass faceted round links that came in the box. I've got two of the 19x10mm 18-karat gold-plated stainless steel leaf drops that came in the box. Got a couple of little pieces of the chain that came in the box, and four little 4mm jump rings. And here I've got some bead caps from my stash, and I've got some spacers from my stash. I've got some findings in here. I've got a lobster clasp, a couple of pieces of the chain that came in the box, different sizes of jump rings. I've got some 6mm and some 4mm and one 8mm in there. And then I've got a couple of links that I'm going to use here. These are like 10mm, I think, links. I've got a little piece of paperclip chain I'm going to use as a extender chain. And I've got a ball head pin and one of the little rondelle beads I'm going to make a dangle to hang off the extender chain. I've got some of my 22 gauge German style wire. I've got some eye pins. Got the chain that came in the box. I don't know how much of that I'm going to need yet, so I've got that in there. This is what I'm going to use for my earrings. I've already got one made, so I've only got enough for one earring in here, but you would need two of the 8mm beads, four of the rondelles, four bead caps, two of the leaf drops, a couple of eye pins, and I'm using a 4mm jump ring to attach my leaf drop to the bottom of the earring. Of course, you can attach it directly to the bottom of the earring if you want to. And you would, of course, need a couple of ear wires. These are my tools that I'm going to be using. I've got both pairs of my bent chain nose pliers, my tweezer pliers, my round nose pliers, my chain nose pliers, my cutters, and I've got my crimping pliers. I'm not going to be doing any crimping today, but I use the little part at the end there, the little half circles at each end to tuck in the wire when I cut off wire, to tuck in the burrs that's left when I cut off wire. And I've got my little New Orleans shot glass to put my wires in when I cut them off. I think that's everything, so hold on, I'll be back. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do here is make my focal. And this is really easy because I've already got, and that's zooming in way too much. Okay, I've already got this chain cut here, so this is going to be really easy. I've got 3 links of the chain that came in the box. And I'm going to use jump rings to attach this. If you are not going to use jump rings, you might want a few more than 3 links. But I'm just going to open one of my jump rings and put my little short piece of chain on and attach it to my link here. I think I'm going to have to open him up a little bit more than that. Yeah. Close that back up really well. Now I'm going to take another 4mm jump ring And this other piece of chain, I have got 10 of the links. Figure out where this jump ring opens. Naturally, it would be hiding on me. And I'm going to put him on the link here. And I have two different links because I want my little leaf drops to hang at different levels here. I want one to hang lower than the other one. So now I'm going to take another little 4mm jump ring. Put one of my little leaf drops on here. And put it on the bottom of one of my pieces of chain. And I'm going to take another 4mm jump ring. Open it up and put it on the bottom of this longer piece of chain. And attach my other leaf drop. Close my jump ring up really well. So that's going to be my focal. So hold on and I'll get what I need next. I'll be back. Okay, now this is going to be a 2-strand necklace. So I'm going to work on my outer strand first. So I'm going to take one of my pieces of German style wire, go down about 1.5 inches, bend at a 90-degree angle over my pliers, take my round nose pliers and put them in the crook of the bend, round nose pliers facing me, bend the wire back until it hits the tool, rotate the pliers till they're facing the table, bend the shorter piece of wire up and under here until it hits the bottom of the tool, cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. Take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring my wire down here a little bit till it's sort of at a right angle with this wire. I'm going to wrap the wire, the shorter piece of wire around the longer piece of wire about 3 times. Cut off my extra wire. And now I'm going to put on a bead cap, one of my 8mm Unakite beads, and another bead cap. I think I might be zoomed in entirely too much. I'm used to bead weaving with y'all lately. I'm not doing that today. Okay, so now I'm going to take my pliers and drop everything. Straighten this up a little. And take my pliers, go to the very tip of the pliers, and these pieces of wire are about 3.5 inches long. Go to the tip of the pliers, bend the wire over the pliers at a 90-degree angle. Take my round nose pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Round nose pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Hold on tight and pick this part up and under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until it's centered over the bead. And that usually stands your little wire almost straight up. I'm going to hold on to my loop. take my wire down here and hold on to my loop good and tight so it doesn't get away from me. I'll take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and I'm going to start to wrap. I want to get that first wrap good and tight. Oops. And just keep wrapping until there's no more room to wrap. It's usually about 3 wraps. I'm going to cut off my extra wire. I'm going to take my crimping pliers and I'm going to go in that part at the end there that has the little half circles on each side. I'm going to tuck in my little burrs that are left where I cut off my wire. Now I'm going to take another piece of my German style wire. And that's my cutters, I don't want them. Go down about 1.5 inches. Bend at a 90-degree angle over the tool. Take my round nose pliers, put them in the crook of the bend. Round nose pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the tool. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take the short piece under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. Now this time I'm going to open my loop up a little bit. Put this link I've already made on here. My wire's got twisted or something. Well, all right now. Okay, now I'm going to close my wire back, or my loop back. Take my bent chain nose pliers, hold on to my loop. Take this shorter piece of wire, wrap it around the longer piece of wire about 3 times. Take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. Now this time I'm going to take a rondelle and a spacer bead, and one of my coin beads, and another spacer bead, and another rondelle. And I'm going to straighten my wire up down here because it seems like it's not straight. Now I'm going to go to the very tip of the pliers, bend at a 90-degree angle over the pliers. My round nose pliers, put them in the crook of the bend. Round nose pliers facing me, and it looks like my loop got off down here. I don't know how that happened. I'll straighten that up. I'm going to bend the wire back until it hits the beads. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until it's centered over the beads. Take my bent chain nose pliers, hold on to my loop, take my wire down, take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers, start to wrap. Get that first wrap good and tight. Just keep wrapping until there's no more room to wrap. See, my loops have got opposite of each other down here. I don't know how that happened. Well, I've got it on my pliers here. I'm going to fix it. Just twist it around there so they're facing the same way. I don't know that it really matters, but I just usually do that. Now I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my wire, Take my crimping pliers and tuck in my little burrs. And I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to make one of these and attach it to this one, and then another one of these and attach it to that one. Just alternate back and forth until I get the length that I want, and then I'll be back. Okay, I've got 2 sides of my outer strand made here. I ended up with 4 of my 8mm units and 3 of the units with the coin beads and the rondelles. So I'm going to take my little focal that I made here, and I've got some 4mm jump rings, and I hope these are big enough. I should have just wire wrapped that directly to the link, and I didn't think about it. So I'm going to take one of these 4mm jump rings, and put it on my link here. Okay, I might have to open it wider, but I didn't. And then put this side on here. I don't know why I was worried about them going on there. That's what I used to put my little dangles down there on the bottom of it on. The 4mm went on down there, they'd go on up here too, wouldn't they? Okay, now I'm going to take another one. Put the other side on. So that's what I've got now. And of course, you can be done here if you want to and just put your findings on, which is what I had originally planned to do. But then, you know me, I ended up changing my mind and decided I want to make a strand to go on the inside here. So I'm going to take my 6mm, I forgot what these were. Autumn Jasper, yeah, Autumn Jasper beads, and my eye pins, and I'm going to make me a little beaded chain of simple loops here. So I'm going to put one of my Autumn Jasper beads on, take my pliers, go just a little bit above the bead because I don't want to crack my bead, bend the wire over, bend the pin over at a 90-degree angle, take my cutters and cut off, leaving about a 1/4 of an inch of the pin. Take my round nose pliers and roll back a loop. Make sure to get your loop closed really well. Now I'm going to take that loop I just made and open it up. Put another eye pin on here. Close it back really well. Put another Autumn Jasper bead on. Go a little bit above the bead. Bend over at a 90-degree angle. Cut off, leaving about a 1/4 of an inch of the pin there. Take my round nose pliers. Make sure there's no wire sticking out here. Start rolling back a loop. Try to get the loop closed good and closed. And oftentimes my loops are not even with each other. Actually, I think that one's pretty good. Usually I have to straighten them up like I did with that one down there. Well, they're not exactly straight, I don't think. And that bottom loop doesn't look like it's closed real well. That was the loop that was already on the eye pin, and a lot of times they're not closed really well. Open him up and close him back better. Now I'm going to take another eye pin. Open my loop. Thread on my ones that I've already made. Close it back. Put another bead on here. Go a little bit above the bead. Bend over at a 90-degree angle. Cut off, leaving about 1/4 of an inch of wire. Take them around those pliers. Make sure there's no wire sticking out down here. Start rolling back a loop. Make sure to get it closed up really well. Now I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep making this little beaded chain until I get the length that I think I want to go for my inside strand to be. When I get that done, I'll be back. Okay, I've got my inside beaded chain made here. I think this is as long as I want it to be. I'm going to put a couple of little pieces of chain right here when I attach it to, well, you can't see that. I'm going to put a couple of little pieces of chain on either side of my beaded chain here to attach it to my link, because if I attach it right up there like that, these beads are going to crowd each other out, and I don't want that. So I'm going to take, let's see, I'm going to take my link and one of my little 4mm jump rings. Open it up, put it on my link, and put my outer chain on here, my outer strand. Close it back up. I'll do that on the other side. Y'all know how I am with these 4mm jump rings. They might jump out of my hands here in a minute. Okay. Now I'm going to take my little beaded chain here. Open my loop that I made on this last one and thread my little piece of chain on here. Close it back up. I don't know if I said I ended up with 17 of these 6mm beads here. I'm going to do that on this other side. Sure to get my little loop closed up well. Don't want my chain sneaking out of there. I'm going to take a 4mm jump ring. Put it on the inside of my loop here. Open it up a little bit. I think my pliers are too fat and they're in the way. there. Close it back up. Do that on this other side. Okay. I'm going to hold this up for a second, see if this is hanging the way I want it to. Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay, now I'm going to take, I've got a couple of pieces of chain here. These are about 3.5 inches each. I'll take another 4mm jump ring. Have the hardest time finding the slit on these tiny little things. I'm going to put that on my link. Add on one of my pieces of chain. Close it back up really well. Do that on this other side. If I can get a hold of it. Put my other piece of chain on. Okay, there. That's what I got so far. Now I'm going to take the rest of my findings here. And I'm going to take a 6mm jump ring. Open it up, put my chain on here, and my lobster clasp. And I'm going to take an 8mm jump ring to go over here. Put my little piece of extender chain on it here. Make sure to get it closed really well. Okay, now I'm going to make a little dangle to go on my extender chain. I'll put a little rondelle on my ball head pin here. Go to the tip of my pliers. Bend over at a 90-degree angle. Round those pliers in the crook of the bend. Round those pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Bring this wire up and under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. And I'm not going to forget this time. I'm going to open my loop. I forget this all the time. I'm going to put it on my extender chain. Close my loop back up. Take my bent chain nose pliers. Try to hold my chain out of the way here and hold on to my loop. Bring my wire down here. Take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers. Start to wrap. Get that first wrap good and tight. Just keep wrapping until there's no more room to wrap. Take my cutters. Cut off my extra wire. Take my crimping pliers and tuck in my little burr that's left. See what we got here. This is what I've got for my necklace. I know it's hard to see. I'll see if I can put it up on my display at the end of the video so y'all can see it better than you can see it laying here, but that's what I got for my necklace. So now I'm going to get my earrings and make a little pair of earrings. Hold on, I'll be back. Okay, now I'm going to make an extremely easy little pair of earrings here. I'm going to take my eye pin and put my rondelle on. And then a bead cap. My 8mm bead. A bead cap. And my rondelle. Take my pliers, go a little bit above the bead so that I don't crack the bead, bend over at a 90-degree angle, cut off leaving about 1/4 of an inch of wire, around those pliers and go to the end of the wire here and start rolling back a loop. Sure to get my loop closed up really well. And now I'm going to take my pliers and open up my loop. Well, I don't guess it matters what order I do it in, but I need to put my little leaf dangle on down here. Open up my little 4mm jump ring. Guess I better put my little leaf on here first. That'll probably make it easier. Put my little earring I've made on here. Close it back up. Make sure it's closed up really well. Now I'm going to take my loop up here at the top, open it up, thread my ear wire on, close it back up. So there's my little earring. So hold on, let me get it all together and I'll be back. Okay, that's the best I can do to get it laid out here like this. It looks much better hanging. I'll try to get a picture of it hanging on my display so y'all can see it better. But there's my first necklace and earring set out of the Woodland Whimsy bargain bead box, and I have still got a bunch of beads left. So I have no doubt there are going to be many, many more pieces that I'm going to make out of this box. Like I said, I really do think it's a good value box, and if you decide you want to sign up, if you're not already a subscriber to the box, that coupon code will save you $2 off your first box if you sign up. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope y'all have a great day. Take care.